Hey up lads and lasses, Danfire here, back with some more Infinite Lagrange. So today, as much requested, we're going to go through the outpost ships. Now I'm not going to add these into a ranking, and that's due to the fact that you can't get experience on them. So do bear this in mind, this is for more early game or people that have got really unlucky. I know there's a few people that literally found like no useful blueprints whatsoever. So this is for you guys. So outpost ships are good in those situations. Your early game, you haven't got any blueprints yet. So phase 1. Or, you know, you've got really unlucky. The blueprints you have picked up are subpar, or you've just not gotten anything good either. So, liaising, quite simple. You liaise with trading posts like this one here, that are on the outskirts of cities. Something I will note quickly is, because I'm in phase 3, there's going to be some ships here that are not available to you, and they're specifically to do with the trogite crystal mining stuff. So if you're in phase 3, you can check those out. If you're not, well, I'm going to cover them anyway, so you got something to look forward to if you can get to phase 3. Other than that, most of the ships here are the same as you'll get in phase 1 and phase 2, and on top of that, some of them are a bit different. Like I can get a Rager torpedo frigate in a level 3 city here, but I was pretty certain in phase 1 and phase 2 I had to be in a level 5 city to be able to find these, and for some reason I can't find them in a level 7 city, but I can in a level 3. So there's some weird stuff going on, so you might have to scout this out yourself a little bit if you're on phase 1, phase 2 to find some of these ships, but they are on these trading stations on some of the cities. So we're going to start off with the level 2 city because it's a little bit easier for me to show off because I'm already there. And yeah, you come to a nice screen, you got the nice station, hit trade, and there we go. So here's a couple of the trogites, and here's some of the other ships that you will see. So I'm going to leave the trogite ones till last on here, and then we'll go look at the other city and see some of the other ships available. So, Rager torpedo frigate. This is the best frigate that you can pick up from an outpost by a long way. Its torpedo launching system is what it really brings it out. It does 300 damage per hit, the 4-second firing duration, and fires 2 rounds per cycle with a 16-second attack interval. Got bonus crit chance. So I don't know the exact crit chance on these yet. I have asked the devs if they'll give me base numbers for what these stats are, so I'm waiting on that at the current moment. Once I've got that, I'll update and we'll do a video talking about all of them. There's 2 of these weapons, 1 on each side, so you're doubling that up to get your 3,600 per minute DPM. Again, there are enhancement systems here. I won't be talking about them because as awesome as this one is, reducing the primary weapon firing duration and cooldown by 80% for every 60 seconds for 15 seconds, it's completely redundant because you can't get experience on outpost ships. So yeah, the Rager torpedo frigate. Definitely your best one if you're looking for adding a lot more damage to your fleet. Grab these. I think you can limit it to like 2 a day or something like that. But grab as many of these as you can, and they will definitely provide a nice solid DPM boost to your fleet. We then have the Grim Reaper assault frigate. This is another big damaging one with a bow railgun system dealing 600 damage per hit, firing once every 12 seconds. No duration because it fires, duration's done. So duration is how long it takes for the weapon to finish firing. So in case of missiles, it's how long for it to fire all of its missiles. In the case of railguns, how long it shoots. In case of lasers, how long it laser burns for. So yeah, Grim Reaper, this is your second best option in my opinion. It's super cheap, 5 CP, same as the Rager I think. Yeah, 5 CP on the Rager. So very low CP requirements to run these in fleet, so you can have all of them quite simply. And yeah, really solid build on this. It's just good. Again, like I said, if you don't have blueprints or other stuff. The Argus Tactical Destroyer, I would completely ignore this and just not run it at all. It's got a aircraft system. It can carry a single medium-sized fighter, so that's not even bombers. It can't even carry bombers. It's just fighters and the slightly bigger fighters. I say slightly bigger fighters. They're kind of multi-role fighters when you've got 3 of them instead of 5 of them in a squad. But yeah, it's not particularly good. Near defense system, generic cannon. That's it. It's pretty much relying on this aircraft to do damage. And if you haven't got blueprints anyway, you're in phase 1. Good chance you're not going to have a good fighter on this thing to run it anyway. And the fact that it only runs a single fighter and it's got no weapon system of its own, it's just more of a liability to run, in my opinion. The Barrios Missile Destroyer. This is the 3rd best chip you can pick up. At 10 cost, it's not too bad. It's quite expensive though, but the Chilling Breeze Hexafire missile launching system is pretty good, with 300 damage per hit and 8-second firing duration, so it takes a bit of while for these 6 missiles to get out, and a 35-second attack interval. So yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's not as strong as the Rager in my opinion, especially for CP to damage DPM costs. But if you've got all your other ships and stuff like that, it fills a decent role of adding more damage to your fleet, so it's not too bad at all. It's also got generic battery system with 55 damage per hit. This is mostly anti-corvette fighter though. So yeah, it's not a bad ship. I don't like the look of this one so much. I like the look of the Argus, which is annoying because I think the Argus looks cool, but yeah, it's worthless. So that's all those ships that I'll talk about here. I'll talk about the Trojanite stuff in a minute. But yeah, so let's come off here. I can only liaise 1 ship at a time, so I'm just going to halt this guy. And we're going to go over to the level 7 city over here. Oh, that's the level 5 city. Level 5 city and level 7 city have the same ships here, so I'm not too worried about that. Liaise. Rec 1, right next to it. There we go. And view. As you can see, the Trojanite stuff is still here, but we've got some extra ships. Notice the Rager is not here. On phase 1, phase 2, you would have seen the Rager here. It's kind of been replaced, I think, because we've got the XT8s and 20s here instead now. I think that's why we can't see it. Also, I'm pretty certain there's a Defender version of the Argus, and either a high-speed Barrios and a high-speed Rager that we can't find. It's not on this server at all, so apologies there if I'm missing those. They're particularly not good, if I remember rightly, so I wouldn't run them. Offensive from Outposts is completely worth it, due to the fact that you can't upgrade them in any way, because you get no experience, so you can't upgrade that defensive capability of them. So they're kind of just like a regular destroyer at that point with less weaponry. They tend to drop weaponry to favour the defence. So, we've already covered Grim Reaper, Argus and Barrios. We then have the Crasher Armed Transport. So this is an interesting one. For 14 CP, you can have this. 8,000 storage. Because you can't upgrade this. Because you get no experience. So yeah, it's completely and utterly worthless. Its defensive battery is literally a defensive battery, fighting corvettes and fighters. So yeah, ignore the Crasher Armed Transport, it's worthless. There you go, that was nice and quick. So the next two are interesting. So you got the Helios and the Star Sweeper. Now I say they're interesting because you can buy them from trade, but both of these ships are available from outposts. Now I'm not sure how that works, because if they're an outpost ship, you can get experience on them if you've built them. I don't know if you have the blueprint for it from an outpost, even if you've undocked from the outpost, if you can buy them, will you still get the experience for them? I need to test that. I will be testing it this server at some point, so I will give a little update on that. at some point in the near future. Let's have a look at the Helios cannon then. So, we have the bow-mounted heavy cannon, which is pretty nice, doing 250, 2 rounds, 10 seconds. So, yeah, it's a pretty strong frontal cannon. Brings some nice damage to it. It's also got this small battery system with 5 cannons for anti-air, so that's pretty good as well. Again, I mean, they're saying it's S-ranked anti-ship. I personally don't agree with that because this system is not energy. So yeah, it's also got no extra bonuses like ignoring armor and stuff like that. So it's going to struggle against armored ships later on. At 15, I believe this might be a cruiser as well. I'm not too sure. Actually, it should say in here, right? Heavy cannon assault ship. No, it doesn't say. Oh no, firepower to rival. Oh no, it's a destroyer, I think. Might be a destroyer. In case of a destroyer, it's not bad, I guess. But yeah, superior firepower against large ships. It's front row. Got no defensive capability. Or its standard armor. Yeah, I mean, the Helios is okay. Upgraded, this thing can be quite good, and that's why I thought I'd mention the fact that it might be possible to upgrade them if you can get the Outposts blueprint. Because it's got the right cooldowns, it's got double damage mods, it's got double cooldown. So yeah, it's potentially quite good in that circumstance. We then have the Star Sweeper. I've covered this earlier. It's basically an IO. It's potentially maybe better than an IO, bar the fact that it's missing its dodge. So yeah, it could be pretty good. It's got the anti-aircraft on here as well, which isn't too bad. And yeah. Right, let's talk about the Trogite stuff. So first up, we've got the XT-8 dual-purpose landing ship that comes with a siege UAV. It's basically the same as a Noma. It's got the single siege UAV. If you're looking for adding like a really cheap siege fleet, which is like 10 Noma, 10 XT-8s, this could work quite well. Just add it in there, and then you got, you know, 20 siege damage ships that you could just run into an outpost super quick and probably kill it off pretty rapid as well, because siege damage does seem to be working correctly now, which is quite nice. And I know that they fixed the siege UAV system on the Noma, so no doubt it works on the XT-8 as well. We then have the XT-8 armed missile survey ship, bringing in some missiles instead of the siege. They're pretty terrible missiles. It does fire 6 of them though, and there's a pair of them, so it's not too bad, but I wouldn't recommend this over running a Rager or a Grim Reaper in the same slot. We then have the XT-20 aircraft cruiser. Again, I haven't managed to get hold of any of these Trogites, so I'm not sure if you can upgrade them unlike the other ones, but I somewhat doubt that. This has a defensive battery system with anti-ship cannons, 80 damage per hit, and also a nice little aircraft system with 4 corvettes, I believe. So, oh no, it's got large fighter capacity, so it brings in 4 aircraft, large aircraft, so it fits quite nicely into a carrier role later into the game. If you've got some very powerful fighters, bombers, this might be actually worth running. Because the upgrades aren't going to matter too much. Yes, you probably will miss the extra damage, the RTB cooldowns, but if you've got powerful fighters anyway, they can be worth running, even though they won't get the bonus upgrades from the carrier itself. We then have the Indefatigable. Indefatigable? Indefatigable? I'm not sure how you meant to say that. This is an interesting one. This is a battle cruiser. If you've got no battle cruisers, this could be worth running. It's got a massive 1800 damage railgun on the front that targets big ships, battleships, carriers, auxiliary, battlecruiser, and cruiser. So it's got big anti-ship potential there with a very big damage dealing railgun, only on an 18-second attack interval as well. If these can be upgraded as well, this could be some serious damage outputs. It's got a bit of cooldown, increasing the damage further on it as well. You got hit rates as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, definitely pretty good. If you haven't got your own ST-59s, I'm not sure if you can get experience on these or not. This can be pretty powerful. This is where it really shines, though. It's got these dodeca fire missile systems. They're only 280 damage per hit, but it's firing 12 of them, and there's 3 sets of these. Yeah, they've got a long cooldown and long duration, but this thing's gonna hurt. Like, if these can get upgrades, I can guarantee these Indefatigables are gonna be like one of the top battle cruisers just because of how much damage they can dish out. I mean, yeah, these are destroyer, frigate, and fighter, but it's a lot of missiles. It's even got dual fire missiles going for destroyers and frigates with less damage output, but a much faster fire rate on them. So yeah, that's the Indefatigable. I quite like the look of it as well. It's something quite menacing about it. I think it's all the protruding bits on it. Looks really cool. So, there we go. Trogite stuff. All the other ships covered, so you know what to go for if you are. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time.